every minute.
Millions of tiny explosions are happening inside machines all around us.
They push pistons, they spin wheels, and they literally move humanity. This is the story of the invention that gave our world speed.
All right, so let's get right into it. We're talking about the internal combustion engine, the machine that really put our entire modern world in motion.
So, to really get this, we gotta go back in time, back to a world before this explosive idea, to see just how game-changing it really was.
Think about it. Back in the 1800s, the world ran on the power of muscle, wind, and steam. You know, things moved at the speed of nature. The big dream, the holy grail for inventors, was a machine you could actually take with you, something powerful and personal that wasn't tied to a giant clunky steam boiler.
And then, a few brilliant minds made it happen. And what's wild is how fast it all snowballed. You've got Nikolaus Otto in 1876, who basically creates the master plan with his four-stroke engine. Then just a decade later, bam, Karl Benz puts it on a set of wheels and we get the first real car. Right after that, Rudolf Diesel comes along and says, hey, let's make this thing even beefier. And he creates an engine for all the heavy-duty work.
And this was the moment everything changed. For the very first time, all that raw, explosive power and fuel could be controlled. It was predictable, it was mechanical, you could just feel it. Civilization was about to hit the gas pedal.
Okay, so that's the big idea. But how does this thing actually work, right? How do you take a bunch of little explosions and turn them into smooth, powerful motion? Let's break it down.
Well, at its heart, an internal combustion engine is a type of heat engine. The clue is right there in the name. The combustion, the fire, happens inside a sealed chamber called a cylinder. That's what makes it so compact and, well, so powerful.
But okay, how do you harness all that explosive force without just blowing the whole thing apart? Well, the genius is in this elegant, incredibly effective four-step cycle.
This is the legendary four-stroke cycle, and it's basically the heartbeat of almost every car you see. The best way to think about it is like the engine is breathing. First, you have the intake stroke. The piston drops, sucking in a mix of air and fuel. Then, compression. The piston shoots back up, squeezing that mixture really, really tight. Step 3, the big one, power. A tiny spark ignites that compressed fuel, causing a massive explosion that slams the piston back down. That's your boom. That's the power. And finally, exhaust. The piston comes up one last time, pushing all the used-up gases out. Intake, compression, power, exhaust. In, squeeze, boom, out.
So get this. Every single cycle is a perfectly controlled micro-explosion. Now multiply that. Imagine it happening thousands of times a minute, not just in one cylinder, but in 4 or 6 or 8. All those little booms working together, pushing down on a crankshaft, turning all that chaotic up and down energy into the smooth, spinning force that drives our world.
Okay, so that's the nitty-gritty of how it works. Now, let's pull back. Let's look at the big picture. Because this little machine didn't just change things, it completely rebuilt the world. The impact was, well, it was everything. All of a sudden, people could live farther from their jobs, so cities started to stretch out and expand. Farming productivity just went through the roof thanks to tractors. Global trade, it scaled up like never before with massive diesel ships and trucks. And of course, air travel became possible, connecting continents. The world basically shrank, going from a bunch of local spots to one interconnected globe.
And this is a huge point. Mobility wasn't just a luxury anymore. The idea that you could just go wherever you wanted, that started to feel less like a privilege and more like a basic human right.
But, you know, all of this incredible progress, it wasn't free. There's another side to this story. This engine has a really complex legacy, and we have to talk about the consequences.
It's like a cosmic balance sheet. On one side, you've got this incredible prosperity, right? We're talking about delivering food to billions of people, medicine getting to where it needs to go, a totally connected world. But on the other side of that balance sheet, you have the costs, our dependence on oil, nasty air pollution in our cities, and of course the greenhouse gases that are driving climate change. It's the great trade-off of the modern age.
And that really just nails it. There are very, very few inventions in all of human history that have so completely reshaped the entire planet physically, socially, and economically. It's in a class of its own.
So, what about now? In a world that's trying to get cleaner, where does this engine fit in? Is it just a relic headed for a museum? Well, the answer, it's not so simple.
And really, the biggest hurdle for replacing it comes down to a simple fact of physics, which you can see right here. It's called energy density. And what that means is that a kilo of gasoline packs an unbelievable amount of energy. I mean, way, way more than a kilo of even our best batteries today. That's its killer app.
And that energy density is a huge deal for the really tough jobs. You know, like pushing a giant container ship across an ocean, or lifting a jetliner into the sky. Right now, the weight of the batteries you'd need to do that is just astronomical. It's not feasible yet. For that kind of heavy lifting, the combustion engine is still king.
So, no, the engine isn't just going away overnight. It's actually evolving. We see it everywhere, in hybrids that mix gas and electric, in research into cleaner fuels, and in new engine designs that are way more efficient. It's acting as a bridge, you know, helping us get from where we are now to whatever comes next.
And when you step back, that's the real power of this idea. A machine built on tiny, controlled explosions that was powerful enough to move entire civilizations, connect continents, and put literally the entire world on wheels. It didn't just power the 20th century, it defined it. And its legacy, both the good and the bad, is absolutely going to shape our future.